Good evening.
Good evening. How are you doing?
Um, Not bad. Well,
Not bad. All right. Okay. Well, are you back home?
oh,
Are you back home?
yes, I'm back. I'm just back
Okay,
from
great.
work. Yes.
Yeah, I see. Well, okay. I said, have you looked through my feedback, the detailed one
Uh,
on
um,
your speaking, I mean.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm,
Yeah. Okay. So please try to follow the recommendations, okay, provided. Well,
mm-hmm.
so today, let's see. First of all, I would like to comment on your writing.
Okay.
Okay, here it is. Well, as you can see, okay, here is the band score, 6.5. Congratulations. Okay, you have done quite well. You've done quite
Mm-hmm.
well. In terms of the criteria, task achievement, I say 7. Okay, coherence and cohesion, 7. Grammar range and accuracy, 6, and lexical resource, 6.5. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
what is good is that you have written a clear overview. Okay, that's really good. Okay, just a moment. Yes, you have written a clear overview. Okay, that's really good. You have identified the main points. Okay, that's also
Mm-hmm.
the pictures adequately. Okay, that's also very good. Information is well selected.
Mm-hmm.
And in terms of the mistakes, okay, let's have a look. Let's have a look here. First of all, some spelling mistakes, for example, chat
Mm-hmm.
C. Well, what else? I'm not sure about the tense used here. Have changed. Why past perfect?
He has changed.
Uh, so I'd recommend you to use the past simple forms
Just
here.
changed. Uh-huh.
Yes,
Okay.
changed. Well, here just okay. Clothing,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So this kind of mistake, 8% was spent, not were.
Uh-huh. Okay.
The next, yeah, and the most common mistake which is made by students is to use this kind of thing. I mean, to write this kind of thing. Look, in 2018, leisure and housing increased significantly. You mean leisure and
Mm-hmm.
housing itself or the
No,
amount
no, no.
of money spent on? Yeah, so this is the most common mistake. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's why please be attentive, be accurate. Then next,
Mm-hmm.
syntax, sorry, increase significantly, making up approximately. These were, okay, sounds a little bit strange, so it's better to use making up, okay. The amount of money spent on blah blah blah, making
Mm-hmm.
up, okay, approximately 22%, okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes, be careful with prepositions. Expenditure on transport increased by, not on.
Mm.
Okay, if you want to show the
Mhm,
different change, right? The
mhm,
next one. I would like to. I'd recommend you to replace this linking device, although by
mhm,
whereas, because although sounds a little bit inappropriate in this case. Look, expenditure on transport increased by nearly 6%. Okay, although money spent on household goods remained. Well, you see, it's used inappropriately. it's better to say whereas comparison, okay, contrast, not comparison, but contrast. Whereas money spent on household goods remain at the same level. You say you show the contrast. Mm-hmm.
Where is that?
Whereas. Okay, I'll type it here. Just whereas. Huh? Okay. Yeah.
I don't know such word.
Okay, then I will send you the list of linking devices special for you. Okay. In
Okay, thank you.
comparison, fuel and power, clothing and food, and also declined. Again, the same mistake. The same mistake. You can see that it cannot decline itself, right? The
amount.
expenditure on, the amount of money or the expenditure on blah 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 fuel blah 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 declined considerably. Okay. Yes. What is good is that you have used quite, okay, linking words. Okay, so linking is fine. In your case, overall, I can see, however, initially, okay, in comparison, I saw somewhere, okay, in comparison, okay, that's good. That's also really good. Well, that's why coherence and cohesion is assessed as 7, okay. Well, but grammar, range and accuracy, ASEL, okay, should be improved. Should be improved. You have to work on it, and we will work on it together as well.
Okay.
So, any questions about this?
No.
By the way, I wonder whether you did it under exam conditions, Asil. I mean, you spent 20 minutes doing this task? To be honest.
A little bit more.
A little bit more. Okay. Which part of the analysis, or which things did you struggle? Which things did you struggle with? Asil, I mean, what was the most challenging and difficult part of the writing for you?
Finding synonyms, yes. And
okay, looking for
appropriate words to write this way. Yes.
Okay, I see. Well, did you look through the list of collocations I sent you?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Several pages. First several pages.
It doesn't mean you have to learn and memorize all of them. I say, of course not. Okay, you will be stressed, quite stressed doing this, but you can take down some of them which you think are the most which can be applied in everyday situations, for example, okay, quite universal, okay, for different topics. Well, good. Now let's focus on this. Today we keep talking about analyzing, talking and learning the strategies and tips, okay, of the third speaking part. Okay, so speaking part again today. And we are going to talk about the IELTS speaking part 3 today. Let's see. First of all, we're gonna briefly talk about the format. Then we will have a look at the sample questions. Some speaking tips will be provided later. We will also take an overview of common question types and possible answers. Then you will do your practice task and we'll get the feedback. All right?
All right.
Yes. So part 3 lasts 5 minutes. It takes you 5 minutes in general. And in this part, as you know, the IELTS examiner will have a discussion with you about some issues that will be related to the topic that you talked about in part 2. Well, what else is important is that the questions in this part are of a more abstract nature, and so they are considered to be more challenging.
Mm-hmm.
It's a two-way discussion, but you will still be expected to do most of the speaking, okay?
Mm-hmm.
The examiners play their role, but you have to do most of the speaking. Here, some sample questions are presented, and okay, family, for example, on family, socializing, art, and if you look carefully through them, I say, you may notice that they perform different functions. I mean, they're not the same. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? So, for example, you can see the first question, is family important in your country? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What skills, what abilities does this question test you on? For example, answering this question, you have to provide your opinion, right? That's why it is considered to be the opinion question, okay? If you have a look at, for example, how do you think the family will change in the future? Okay, will change in the future. Well, so what skills does it test? It tests your skills on using the future forms, first of all, grammar, right? Okay, and possibly predicting, okay? Predicting. Well, if you look, for example, at this question, how has art changed in the last few decades in your country? So what skills does it test? What does the examiner waiting to hear? I mean, so what answer, what kind of answer, what should you do if, for example, the examiner asks you, how has art changed in the last few decades in your country?
Compare.
Absolutely. This is a compare question, a compare question. So all these questions in part 3 perform different functions, and you should clearly understand, be aware of what kind of answer you should provide, okay? Well, speaking tips. There are some speaking tips I prepared for you. The first one is don't be afraid to ask the examiner questions if you don't understand. You've already seen that to do this, we can use some special useful phrases. Do you remember them, Asil? When you don't understand something, what
Yeah,
can you
yeah.
ask? Yeah.
Give me a little more seconds to think about this question. I haven't thought about such subjects yet.
Okay,
Something
yeah.
like
So
this.
you're talking about fillers when you can't answer at once and you need some time to think.
I need some
What
time to
about if
think.
you don't understand anything? For example, in the question the examiner asks you.
I don't
Well,
really understand. What about this question? Can you
yeah.
explain me?
Just yes. Could you explain? Yes, okay.
Could you explain?
That please, right? Or could you explain what X means, for example? Yeah, okay. Yeah, such kind of questions. Good. Well, number 2 tip is thinking time is allowed. Thinking time is allowed, but it doesn't mean, I say, that you have to, or that you should sit and wait thinking over, you see, thinking over your answer. Well, it means that you can use some special fillers, some special expressions, yes, which have already been mentioned by you, to give you some extra time, yeah? Okay, finish strongly. Well, After having done part two, I mean, dealing with a cue card, speaking cue card in the second part, students usually feel extremely exhausted. And the only thing in their head is, okay, just let's finish this as soon as possible. And they just don't stay concentrated anymore. You see, they even sometimes don't attempt to answer the questions in the speaking part three because if they feel exhausted or maybe disappointed by their own accomplishment in the second part, you see, and that's why please stay 100% concentrated till the end. Finish
I had
strongly. Just try.
I,
What? Sorry.
I had the opposite experience. I thought
Really?
that the speaking part was really quick. Yes.
Ah, okay, yeah. So just listen carefully. Try to attempt any question, any question. One more thing, you see, sometimes students mm, feel that questions become more and more challenging, more and more difficult. And I should say, I should say that this is a good sign, since it means that your performance is good, you are doing well, and that's why the examiner asks you more and more difficult questions. So it means that if you do badly, okay, the examiner asks you simple questions, easy questions, okay. But if you hear that or feel that questions become more difficult, okay, it means that everything's fine and you are doing fine, you're performing well, you see. And that's why don't give up. Try to attempt, answering any question. Think about what structure the examiner is testing. We will talk about this a little bit later. So I partly have covered this in the beginning of the lesson. It's about the common question types. So we will look at 7 common question types and we will study the samples, okay? That's a little bit later. So here is the list of fillers. Yes, you have mentioned some of them, but could you please read the full list? I say.
Oh, that's an interesting question. Actually, a matter of fact, in fact, as a matter of fact, I'm not an expert in, but I suppose that. I'm not really sure, but I think that, well, on the whole, I tend to think that, frankly speaking, to be honest, to tell you the truth, oh, that's a difficult question, but I'll try to express my point of view. Well, let me think about it a bit. The key thing here is that, to tell you the truth, I've never thought about it before, but I could say that that really depends on the situation.
Yes, well, so if you don't know, so you are not expected to be an expert in everything. I said, okay, you are not expected. That's why, so it's okay if you answer this way. If you use one of these fillers and just try to um, think of the answer and try to answer the question. Try to answer, okay? Just say, to be honest, I've never thought about that, but if I had to answer this question, I'd say that blah blah blah. Okay, good. Then here are the seven most common question types. I was talking about that, and so you can see opinion, evaluate questions, future, cause and effect, hypothetical, compare and contrast, and past. Wow. When opinion questions are asked, it means that you have to express and share your opinion, right? What do you think about this but remember to say why you think that way and give examples. Give examples. Evaluate. Evaluate means, what do you think about someone else's opinion? Okay, for example, some people say that schools should improve their equipment in the classrooms. Okay, what do you think? So you have to evaluate. So you have someone's opinion. You have to express your own one. You see? Yeah.
I'm not really agree with this opinion, something like this.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Absolutely right. Okay, 3. Future. What do you think will happen in the future? Okay, so it tests you on how well you can use grammar for future, for example. Okay. So be careful with tenses in general grammar. Okay. 4. Cause and effect. What caused this and or what effects has it had? Okay. Yes, cause and effect. Yeah. Okay. Is it clear? There is a situation described. Okay. So and you should answer what caused this situation and what effects has it had. Okay. Hypothetical. Talk about imaginary or unreal situations. If you were, for example, yeah, you have to use what do you think? What kind of grammar, okay, should be used in this case when we talk about something hypothetical?
If I would something first and second.
Yes, conditional.
Conditions. Yes.
Absolutely right. Okay. Yes, well done. 6. Compare and contrast. Talk about the difference and similarities between two things, or talk about the difference or similarities between two things. Okay. Well, I think it's quite easy. And past, how were things different in the past and how have they changed? Okay. Well, now we will study these questions deeply. We are going to take an overview. So when speaking, I said one of the things which helps to improve your fluency and cohesion is to use the language of signposting. For example, here there is a range of words, okay, on opinion. How can your opinion be expressed? So let's read the list. Yes.
As I see it personally, for me, I'm convinced that, I'm certain that, I'm sure that, I guess that, I suppose that, I say that.
Yeah. Okay.
In my opinion, something like this.
In my opinion, yes, it's possible. It's also possible. But don't overuse, in my opinion, okay? Try to vary your language. Well,
or here, personally, yeah.
Yeah, personally, good. This is the example. What are some of the ways people can help others in the community? As I see it, there are many ways one can help the needy, but the best way is by making charitable donations. People can choose a charity and simply donate a sum of money and leave it to them to help others in need. For instance, I recently gave money to an orphanage. I don't have time to help them personally, so I leave it up to them to use the money as they see fit. Well, what? What? I said.
It's difficult.
Language, yes. Language is quite complicated. I mean, in terms of range of vocabulary. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Phrasal verbs. Yes. Leave it up to them.
Leave it up. Yes, that's right. But I said actually, you would say, I'm sure you would say, I'll leave it to them, or I'll, okay, or just, I will let them decide, for example, on their own, to make their own decision. But leave it up to them means, in general, I will let them do it the way they want, the way they need it to be done. You see?
I'll
Yeah.
let them to use the money as they see.
Yes, okay, this way. Mhm. That's why phrasal. Yeah, try
Something
to take down.
simpler.
Simpler, yes, simpler. Okay, but I think it's not very challenging or complicated to take down some phrasal verbs and learn them, for example. Yeah, okay. I think it's not very challenging. Okay. Evaluation. As I have mentioned before, evaluate, it means express your opinion. So say what you think on someone else's opinion, right? What you think about someone else's opinion. Well, and in this case, you can use such expressions as, Asil, please read the list.
I couldn't agree with you more. If I'm agree, first column. Wait, if I agree, first column, and if I don't agree, the
Don't
second.
agree? Yeah, okay.
I couldn't agree with you more. That's so true. That's for sure. That's exactly how I feel. No doubt about it. I suppose so. I guess so. You have a point there. I don't think so. I'm afraid I disagree. I totally disagree. I beg to differ. This one I don't know. I'd say the exact opposite. Not necessarily. That's not always true. That's not always the case.
Okay. That's why if you don't know, or if you don't know 100% how to utilize this phrase, I mean, I beg to differ, don't use it. Don't say the words you are not sure about. I say, you see, okay, because you will lose, you will have a lower score in the range of vocabulary, for your range of vocabulary, if you use the wrong word or in the wrong situation, for example. Okay. You should be 100% sure you say this word in the correct situation and you know this, you know its meaning, okay, completely. Well, future. Let's talk about future. Well, signposting languages here. X plans to. It is predicted that X intends to. I mean, instead of X, you can use the government plans to, for example, yeah? Or the government intends to, or someone intends to. I foresee, it's foreseeable, conditionals. It's likely that, it is probable that, it's unforeseeable that, I envisage. I envisage.
Difficult. Well, I envisage. I envisage.
Now let's have a look at, some people say that working from home will be quite common in the future. Do you agree? I say, please read the answer.
Something
Asil,
with.
can you hear me?
Yes, but with some troubles.
Or it's unstable, yeah, the internet.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, please.
Some people say that working from home will be quite common in the future. Do you agree? It is foreseeable that more people will work from home in the future. If the internet becomes faster and there are more programs such as Skype or Zoom that allow people to work from home more easily, I predict that more people will stay at home. If you think about it, most people don't need to be physically present to do their jobs, and I envisage that face-to-face meetings will be a thing of the past.
Well, envisage means I predict. Yeah, I predict. Yeah, okay. So you can see these special phrases I use. It's foreseeable, I'd predict, I envisage, yeah, and plus conditional. Which kind of conditional?
That allow people to work more easily.
More people will stay. This is the
first condition.
First conditional, yes. Present simple and will plus infinitive, first conditional. Yes, that's right. The next, cause and effect. Well, and here are some phrases or just words which can be used to express the cause and effect. Just read the list, please. I said
because as a result, resulted in, as a consequence, due to,
consequence.
caused.
I said consequence. Consequence. Consequence.
As a consequence. Due to, caused, led to, means that.
Yeah.
As a consequence. Not consequence.
Not consequence. Yeah, consequence.
As a consequence.
All right. Here is the sample question. How does advertising influence what people choose to buy?
I think advertising has a big influence on what people purchase and often leads to them always sticking with the same brands. For example, I always drink Coca-Cola, and I believe this is because I grew up watching all those ads on TV, and I instinctively buy it as a result. At the end of the sentence. It's interesting. I mean, why would companies spend so much money on adverts unless it led to more sales?
This sentence sounds a little bit, yeah. Advertisement.
Advert, ads.
Ads and advertising. Yes, correct. And advertising. Advertisement, ads, advertise, advertising. Yeah, okay. Good. Signposting 5, okay, hypothetical questions, imaginary questions, okay? Well, and of course, in this case, the best solution is to tackle with this type of questions is to use conditional sentences. Okay. The second one, yes, absolutely. The second one, since we are talking about hypothetical situations, imaginary situations. Yes, thank you. Well, here is the example. I am to read the question, you are to answer. If you could choose any country to live in, where would you choose?
If I could live in any country, I would probably choose Australia. The weather is great, the people are super friendly, and just imagine living beside all those beaches. If I would choose another country, it would have to be Italy for the architecture, the culture, and its fascinating history.
Well, so I guess you don't have any questions about that?
No.
Good. Well, compare and contrast questions. Of course, comparatives and superlatives are recommended to be used, and here are some more tools to deal with this type of question type. Please, I say.
In comparison with, in contrast to, as opposed, differentiates in a way that, it is different in a way that, can be compared to, can be compared with, similarly.
Okay. And here goes the sample question. Do you think primary school children should learn a second language, or should they wait until secondary school?
It's obvious that the earlier children study language, the easier it becomes in later life. However, some parents might think that subjects like math are more important than languages at primary level. They may also think that a foreign language is less important than their first language, and this should be prioritized. Mhm.
Okay. Well, keep working.
Mhm.
And the last signposting, the last question type, common question type, are related. These questions are related to the past. Okay.
Mhm.
And in this case, to talk about the past, of course, we have to use the range of grammar. Okay, we know we may use the present perfect continuous to talk about something that started in the past and continue up until the present.
Mhm.
We can use to plus infinitive to talk about past habits or states that are now finished. We may also use would plus infinitive to describe past habits, but what's the difference? I said, you see, both of these expressions are used to talk about the past, about past habits, but what's the difference? Do you remember?
Mm-mm.
No?
No.
Basically, would, okay, would, should be used with action verbs only.
Action.
Whereas used to action verbs, yeah,
Mm.
such as which express action, okay, activity.
Mhm.
Whereas used to plus infinitive can be used with both action and non-action verbs,
Mm.
stative verbs. Do you remember what stative verbs mean? For
Mm.
example, like,
Like,
prefer,
love,
yeah,
yes.
okay,
Hate.
preferences. Yeah, okay. Verbs of possession,
Mhm.
have, right, etc. Well, past simple. Okay, once again, would plus action verbs only.
Mhm.
Would go, would see,
R-
would, yes, accomplish, would assign, etc. Used to plus both stative
Mhm.
and action verbs. All right.
All right.
So, okay, just use used to, apply, utilize used to, and that's fine if you talk
Mhm.
about past habits, okay?
Okay.
Past simple to talk about things you did in the past that you no longer do or are no longer true, okay?
Mhm.
Past continuous, sorry, to talk about the background of a story or how you felt at a particular time or
Mhm.
what you were doing at a particular time.
Mhm.
And past
I was
perfect,
writing a letter to my friend when
yeah,
he came
yeah,
home, something like this. Mhm.
exactly. Yes. Past perfect to say something happened before something else in the past. That's why I
Mhm.
was a little bit confused when I saw past perfect in your writing task one, since it doesn't emphasize, yeah, any other past action. Okay, you
Mm.
see? Okay, fine. And the example question, how has teaching changed in your country over the past few decades?
Mhm. In the past, teachers simply lectured students, and the student just listened to what they said. We were given lots of facts to learn, and there was no room for creativity or freedom of expression. I remember learning lots of things without thinking about the theory behind it. Now there has been a movement towards students thinking for themselves.
Mm,
Mhm.
okay. Any questions, Asil?
Mhm. No, no.
Okay,
Mhm.
fine. Well, and now it's time to practice. It's time to practice, but I would like to combine the practice speaking test part one and
Mhm.
part three together, since you have already done part two. Okay?
Mhm.
Do you remember
Mhm.
you were talking about an e-reader? Yes? before previously. So that's why we'll skip part 2 and do part 1 and part 3 today. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Let's start off by talking about your work. Do you work or do you study?
I'm a pediatrician. I work in city hospital, and I treat children of from birth to 18 years old from different types of diseases.
Okay. And why did you choose that career?
I think that I was grown up looking at my doctor, and I like her, and I wanted to become like she was, and that's decision totally because of my empathetic doctor who treats me when I was a child. Yes.
Okay. Do you enjoy your job?
Yes, I really love my job, but sometimes there are moments when difficult moments at work when I I don't enjoy my work, and I think to give up it.
Okay, I see. Well, now let's talk about your hometown. So where are you from?
I'm from a small town which called Issyk. It is not far from Almaty, the southern capital of our country.
Do you like your hometown?
Yes, I really love my hometown. It is very small, but the nature in my hometown is really really magnificent. It
If you
is
say okay, magnificent.
the weather is comfortable, and there are mountains around it, and there is lake in the top of that mountains where we usually go hiking.
How do you think, Asil, your hometown could be improved?
I guess that it would be good if city governments spend would spend a lot of finances to improve tourism and to build some new facilities.
Okay. How often do you visit your hometown?
These days, not too much. I visit only once in 3 months. Yes.
Thank you. Now let's talk about your childhood. Did you have a nice childhood?
I think that every person will say that he had a great childhood. because childhood is the most careless, fearless, and most enjoyable, nice years of our part of our life. We don't have any. We didn't have any any забот, any problems, and we just play and play and study. It was our work to play and study.
What's your first memory?
My first memory, I guess that it was I can recall that I was sitting with my grandfather, and he taught me how to read, yes, and how to count. It was when I was just 4 years old girl.
When you were a child, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Postman. Yes, I think that I wanted to be. I want to carry to deliver. I want to deliver letters and newspapers to people. In the past, there were different people who deliver newspapers, different type of journals and letters to citizens. And my grandfather ordered a lot of type of newspapers, and I saw them very often. Because of this, I wanted also be a postman.
How exciting. Well, we are going to move on to part 3. Thank you, I said. Okay, that's the end of part 1. We're going to move to part 3 right now. And so in part 2, you've been talking about an e-reader. Yes, okay. And that's why we're going to continue to talk about technology for a little bit. And we're going to talk about technology as it relates to education. And the first question is, do you think someone can learn a language using an online course?
What? Using? Please, could you repeat the last words, please? Okay.
Do you think someone can learn a language using an online course?
I guess that it's possible in nowadays because there are a lot of different types of online courses to different type of users, and also learner can use a lot of other applications to study a foreign language. For example, as Duolingo, or also use YouTube videos, so watch different type of movies in another language, and also there are apps that will help to practice speaking with other learners And I think there are a lot of different technologies that can help to learn foreign language online. Yes.
Okay. Should schools use more technology in the classroom?
Oh, I guess that in this case, I don't agree with this statement. I think that at school, children should communicate with each other, and they can use gadgets and other technologies at home, and school is a space to interact with each other, to improve their communication skills and to improve their creativity, not using different technologies. Yes.
Okay. Do you think one day AI, artificial intelligence, will replace teachers in the classroom?
I totally disagree with this. I think that teachers are the most important part of school, and a teacher is human, and it he or she has different type of skills that EA yes don't doesn't have, and such as sympathy, such as empathy for children, and humanity. I think that the most needed qualities for teachers is to be kind, to be empathy, and artificial intelligence doesn't have such qualities. It is just a robot which was programmed by other people.
Okay. Why are some people now reducing the amount of time they spend on electronic devices? Well, I will repeat. Why are some people now reducing the amount of time they spend on electronic devices?
It is because of that a lot of people can't control the amount of time spending online themselves, and they use such functions of gadgets to control the amount of time and to use that free time for other activities, for fruitful cooperation with their family, for studying, and sometimes just scrolling in internet. Internet. Так, people waste their essential hours of day. Because of this, I think people try to control to use such functions of gadgets. Yes, they use they limit the time that they spend with their phones, and also I think that they think about their health because and their vision, because spending time online will deteriorate your vision. And also people become addictive to gadgets, and they don't live their life, their personal life. And just live in imaginary world. Because of this, maybe they try to reduce the amount of time they're using in they the amount of time that they waste online. Yelena?
Okay, Asil.
Mm-hmm.
Asil, can you hear me?
I
Yes,
said
Asil, can
that
you hear me? I'm
now,
extremely
yes.
sorry, but the internet connection is unstable today.
Uh-huh.
Asil,
I said also that people
can
be,
can you hear me?
be,
Yes, I can hear you now, but just you have disappeared for a while. Uh-huh.
uh-huh. Uh, I just said that people became more and more addictive to internet, and because they don't live their own personal life, they just spend hours online and waste the essential hours of their own life. So because of this, also it is the main reason of reducing, yes, or reduction of internet time. Mhm. To live personal, not imaginary life.
Mhm.
And also to be more
Okay.
productive.
Yes, that's right. That's right. I agree with you completely. Well, Asil, can you hear me well?
Yes.
Yes, you can.
Mhm, mhm.
Okay, so sometimes you disappear, you see. That's why I'm worried. Okay. Well, thank you. I say that is the end of the speaking part 3. Okay, and what I should say, I'd encourage you, of course, the main area for concern, okay, for me is your fluency and coherence. Fluency, you know what fluency means? Okay, it is your ability to speak at length. And it's not about your grammar or vocabulary. Your grammar's vocabulary okay, range is fine. However, it's more about your practice. It's more about your organizing skills. You see, since,
Mhm.
as I have already told you, since you don't practice English in your everyday life, you see, Well, as soon as you start speaking, you try to make up a sentence, try to memorize some specific vocabulary, and that's why all of these things, okay, all of these things take you time.
Mm-hmm.
Do you
Mm-hmm.
agree?
Yes, I
And
totally.
the only solution for you is to practice using English in everyday situations, in everyday life. You see, as
Mm-hmm.
much as you can, I said, as much as you can, record yourself talking. Yeah, I said, sorry. Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes.
I said, well, I was talking about your fluency and my recommendations. Uh, it is highly recommended, okay, to use English in everyday life as much as you can.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
it means you can practice using English in everyday communications. And for example, you can record yourself, play it back, listen it back, and yeah, just listen for linking expressions, for hesitations, words that may be used in a wrong way. So
Mm-hmm.
you have to incline into the language as much as possible. You see,
Mm-hmm.
well, and the best, of course, the best solution is to speak and record yourself.
You can
Okay.
reflect. Okay.
Yes, listen, play it back, listen it back, listen for mistakes, listen for strange things as well. So what you do well, what you do badly, you see what linking phrases you use. Listen for hesitations because mostly your fluency suffers because of hesitation, just like you are searching for words for a long, just not for a long, but for some time, searching for maybe ideas, okay? And that's why it takes you time. And
Mm-hmm.
just a kind of hesitation takes, you see?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
but you have done quite well. So one more thing, you looked quite tired. Mm-hmm.
Right?
By the end of the lesson. Yes. Okay. As soon as or maybe that's because our connection is unstable and I can't hear and feel you properly. But it seemed to me that you look a little bit tired. No? What are you
Maybe
feeling?
it's Friday, the end of the week. Maybe because of this.
And speaking English, okay. Well, so in general, all these things, right, included, well, so make you feel a little bit tired, of course, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, um, your range of vocabulary is good. So you see, you try to vary your language and look for synonyms, look for academic words. Okay, that's good. Your grammar is also fine. Your grammar is not a big problem for understanding, you see, because if it's not a big problem, it's fine. So, and if you overthinking about grammar is also bad. You see,
Mm-hmm.
well, when a student just tries to choose the correct grammar point and to implement it into his or her speech, just it takes your time and it doesn't sound naturally. You see?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, the only thing.
Speak, speak, speak.
Okay, I said welcome back. So practice, practice, practice. Okay, practice makes perfect. All right.
Okay.
Is everything clear? We have to
Yes.
say goodbye to each other. Yeah, okay, unfortunately. Well, I will send you your home assignment by WhatsApp Messenger as usually. Okay. So
Okay.
wait there. Thank you. See you
Thank
next
you.
week. Have a good weekend.
Have a good weekend
Bye
too.
bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you.